जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरवारधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरवारधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरवारधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तेरा वनचारी यमुना तेरा वनचारी यमुना तेरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरवारधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरवारधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तेरा वनचारी यमुना तेरा वनचारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva. Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva. Nittai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nittai Gaur Hari Bol. Jayom Vishnupad Paramahamsa Privakacharya Ashtotar Sarasri Srimad A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jayom Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Privakacharya Ashtotar Sarasri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Prabhupada ki jai. Anant Koti Vaishnava Vrind ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Sri Rupa Shishnatan Bhatta Raghunath Sri Jeeva Gopal Bhatta Dasa Raghunath Sadgo Swami Prabhu ki jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि घोर भक्त वृंद कीजिए. श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गो गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधाकुंड गिरि गोवर्धन कीजिए. ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम कीजिए. नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम कीजिए. जगन्नाथपुरी धाम कीजिए. अयोध्यापुरी धाम कीजिए. गंगामाई जमुनामाई कीजिए. श्रीमती तुलसी देवी भक्ति देवी कीजिए. सामवेद भक्त वृंद कीजिए. हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ कीजिए. जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद चैतन्य चरितामृत की जय. निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे. All glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glories, Sri Guru, Sri Gauranga. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna. So this morning we are reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila chapter 3. The Lord at the house of Advaita Acharya. And this morning's verse we are going to speak on is text number 64. No written on the board? इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स आजकल विकास हो रहा है ठीक है दुआ प्रभु लाना आचार्य गेले भीतर घरे प्रसाद देखिया प्रभुरा आनंद अंतरे दुआ पदे ला आचार्य गेले भीतर घरे प्रसादम देखिए प्रभु रे आनंद अंतरे Anyone? Ladies? Okay, Hare. Dua Prabhu, the two Prabhus, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. Lana with Acharya, Advaita Acharya. Gela went. Bittara within. Gare the room. Prasad the prasadam. Dekhiya sing. Prabhura of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Ananda Antare was very pleased with himself. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Prabhupada. Advaita Acharya took Lord Nityananda Prabhu and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu within the room, and the two lords saw the arrangement of the prasadam. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu especially was very pleased. Purport. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was pleased because he saw how nicely so many varieties of food were prepared for Krishna. Actually, all kinds of prasadam are prepared for Krishna, not for the people. But the devotees take prasadam with great pleasure. Om Jnana Timandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshusunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyecha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this is a very interesting pastime of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda visiting Sri Advaita Acharya. Now, of course, we are very fortunate that in hindsight that this is revealed to us by the mercy of the Acharyas, and specifically in present day, we are very fortunate that His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Prabhupada, opened up the secret of this transcendental literature, and he gave us an insight of the depth of this literature about the two Lords, Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. Of course, even today we see that there are a lot of people who have heard about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but they only consider him as some saintly person. And in reality, he is not just a saintly person. He is the Supreme Lord himself, as Prabhupada says, very clearly citing scriptures, not just some speculation, but citing scriptures, that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is that same very Krishna, and Lord Nityananda is that same very Balaram. So there is no difference between Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda and Krishna and Balaram. So here, when he is visiting Lord Advaita Acharya's house, now of course, now Advaita Acharya in his days was considered a great saintly person living in Santipur, and he was practicing his sadhana bhakti, but he is also known different from Lord Vishnu. He is Mahavishnu himself, but nobody knows about that. They thought he was just an ordinary saintly person, very elderly sadhu sitting here or in Santipur, in West Bengal, and they were showing honor and respect, but not knowing that he is Mahavishnu. So this is very transcendental, interesting pastime which takes place, where Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda visits the house of Advaita Acharya. And of course, Advaita Acharya welcomes the two lords, and generally the custom is that when you invite guests to your home, you feed them very sumptuously, that they feel welcomed. So when you make very nice arrangement for welcoming them, giving them a nice place to sit, and offering them wonderful eatables. Now, of course, eatables means that we have to use our intelligence. What eatables we can offer and what eatables we cannot offer. Generally, according to our scriptures, it is said that those eatables that are offerable to Krishna are pleasing to Krishna. And Krishna himself says that you don't have to go out of your way, whatever nature is provided. And then he gives particular categories. Patram, puspam, phalam, toyam. He says, give me any of these things, I'm happy with it. But of course, when we read Bhagavad Gita, and we find this verse saying, Patram, puspam, phalam, toyam, yome bhakta prayachate. I say, okay, yome bhakta prayachate, I'll offer with love and devotion. Patram. So I will go in the garden and pick some leaves. I say, Krishna, I'm offering this with love. Now, that is not a proper way of offering Krishna, because Krishna doesn't say literally a leaf. He said those which are eatable leaves. And of course, the good Lord has very kindly given us intelligence to differentiate within what is eatable and what is not eatable. Just like animals, we see in this country, a lot of cows are abandoned. More than cows, more of bulls are abandoned because they are a burden to them. You have to feed the bull, but the bull doesn't give you anything in return except some bull dung. But of course, in our Vedic culture, it says cow dung, which is considered pure. But actually, cow dung and bull dung, there is no difference. But we kind of see on a mundane platform. So the bull doesn't give much, so they abandon them. And when they are abandoned, they go in the streets and they are hungry. So naturally, animal instinct is eating, sleeping, mating, defending. So eating is one of the natural propensities of animals. So what do? They look for eatables. Now they will only eat that which is eatable and not that is not eatable. Even though it may be very luscious green leaves, the cow will not eat. Because by natural instinct it knows that these leaves will cause problem to me. It may be a kind of poisonous effect, or maybe it's not digestible. So they know what to eat, what not to eat. If you want to make an experiment, you take a cow and enclose the cow in a compound, fenced in. Of course, I don't advise you to do this because this is cruel to the animal. And of course, Krishna won't be too pleased with it. So, but just for your own speculative scientific experiments, you put a cow in a nice enclosure and starve the cow for 3 days. After 3 days, you put all kind of flesh in the compound. The cow will not eat, will not touch, it will smell and then abandon it. Even though it is starving, it is hungry, it will not eat. Same, you enclose an animal which is a flesh eater. In this case, let's say the most ferocious one, tiger. You enclose a tiger in a cage and starve the tiger for 3-4 days. After that, you fill the cage with very luscious green grass and other vegetables. What will the tiger do? He is hungry, but he will not eat. But as soon as you open the gate, the first human being or animal comes in the way, it will devour it. It will not have a distinction that this is a human being or this is an animal. That is his food. So, it will eat. But human beings have been given intelligence to differentiate. And what actually makes us different from the animal kingdom is that we have the ability to differentiate between right and wrong. The animals don't have any intelligence to know what is right or what is wrong. They will just go by instinct. Whatever the instinct says, they will follow according to their nature. Of course, every entity has its own nature, but basically defined as eating, sleeping, mating and defending. So they will do the eating process according to their instinct, what nature has provided with their own intelligence. Sleeping, they will find a suitable place to sleep. Mating, they will mate with their own species. They won't go outside their species. And also mating will only be done at appropriate time, not willy-nilly at any time. Because there in animal kingdom, there is no such thing as enjoying sex life for sense gratification. It is simply for procreating their species so that the continuation of the species goes through. And defending, they would defend their patch, their area, by whatever the Lord has given them, natural. So, animal like tigers will use their claws and their ferocious teeth to defend their property, and their roar is enough to scare anyone away. A bird will flap its wings and use its beak to chase you away. But the birds or the animals will not think. We are progressing this material world. We need to have better defense system. Let us make some research into getting some kind of AK-47. You're not satisfied with that. Let's go further up and make nuclear bombs. That is the most ferocious weapon in this material as we know now, presently. And most countries who have access to these so-called nuclear bombs, what is their justification? It is a deterrent. That if I have a nuclear bomb in my country, no country will dare to invade me. But, as we know, things are not as they seem to be. So animals don't do that, but humans are doing that, violating every principle. So, as far as we are concerned with this today's verse of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda being invited by Advaita Acharya to his home, and in this verse is very clearly saying that Lord Chaitanya was very, very pleased when he saw such wonderful foodstuff was arranged. Now, of course, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not think that this foodstuff is for me. As we read further verses, we will understand the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that it is so nice that this Advaita Acharya has made so nice, wonderful preparations for the pleasure of Krishna. So that is the bottom line. It is for the pleasure of Krishna, not for anybody else. And what is our business in this material world? As soon as we understand our true position, which is the forgotten position, is Jivere Swarupa Hoy, Krishna Nityadas. Eternally we are servants of Krishna. And if we are servants of Krishna, and we realize that point, then what is our business? Is to serve Krishna. So we have to make all arrangements to serve him very nicely. That's why Srila Prabhupada, in his transcendental vision and training, he taught us how to worship the Lordships very beautifully in the Vigraha form. And Prabhupada said, the more opulently you worship the Lord, the more happier you will become. You give Krishna everything. But then Krishna says, Yatha mam prapiyante. As you are reciprocating me, as you are offering things to me, I am not a greedy, a selfish person. I'll keep everything to myself. I'll give it back to you. But when he gives it back to you, whatever it may be, whether it is eatables, or maybe some clothing, even the house, whatever, he gives it back in a form of the mercy of the Lord. And when you utilize this, whether it's foodstuff, you partake the foodstuff as Mahaprasad, with clothing, you cover your body. Whatever Krishna gives you back is the mercy. And when you utilize that, then there is no karmic reactions for that. But if you do not offer to Krishna and take it for yourself, then Krishna says, that is okay also. I have no problems with that. Because I have created this beautiful, wonderful material world. And why I say with the specific words, beautiful, wonderful world. Because this world is very beautiful and it is wonderful. The wonders of these worlds never ceases to amaze anyone. But when we are going through the phase of suffering, we do not like this material world. We say this material world is a terrible place. But whatever Krishna creates, how can that be terrible? Because Krishna is perfect. And whatever Krishna creates is perfection. So how we can say that this world is imperfect or is a place of misery? Yeah, from our perspective, it's a place of misery. Why? Because we are seeing it separate from Krishna. So when you see it in connection with Krishna, then it doesn't become a miserable place. It becomes wonderful. Just like Prabhupada says, that this building is made of what? Brick, mortar, cement, iron, and decorated very nicely. So what is the difference between this building and the building next door? It's made of same materials. Maybe the size and shape may be different, but the purpose is the same. It's a building. And what is the purpose of the building? People occupy it. What is the difference between this building and that building is that this building is not occupied by us. It's occupied by the lordships, Sri Radha Parthasarthi, Sri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman, Sri Gonita, of course, Lord Nrsimhadev. So this is the Lord's place. And because this place is given to the Lord as His residence, Prabhupada says that wherever the Lord resides, that place becomes Vaikuntha, spiritual world. It is free from any material designation. As soon as you step out of the domain of Sri Radha Parthasarthi, then what happens? You are in the material domain, where you will have the impact of material energy. So anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that everything has to be seen in relation to Krishna. So here Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very pleased by the arrangement made by Advaita Acharya for the pleasure of Krishna. And further verses is explaining that when Advaita Acharya invited the two lords, he made a very nice sitting place for Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya to feed them Krishna Prasadam. So Prabhupada says that as a devotee, we should only partake Krishna Prasadam. Very important statement. As a devotee of Krishna, we should only partake Krishna Prasadam. What does that mean? That which is offered to Krishna can be partaken after Krishna has fully relished it. Then it is available for us to partake as Mahaprasadam. Now the thing is, we may offer Krishna very nice opulent prasadam, very nice silver plate, sometimes if your opulence permits gold plate, and you make very nice preparation, offer to Krishna, then you make the prayers, ring the little bell, ting, 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 ting. And after that, procedure says you vacate the room, let Krishna enjoy. After 15 minutes, you again ring the bell to acknowledge that you are entering the private space of Krishna. And then you again go through rituals. And then you take the Mahaprasadam out, transfer it, and then distribute to the devotees. But the problem here is, Krishna is not saying what you offer me is important. How you offer this to me. How you prepare this. So I give sometimes this analogy that I feel like eating samosas and kachoris today. So let us make kachoris and samosas and offer to Krishna. So the cooks have been given instructions that Maharaj wants samosas and kachoris today. So let us prepare samosas and kachoris. So you make samosas and kachoris very nicely with the chutneys and all the other savories which go with it. Then you put it in front of Krishna. And say, "Dear Lord Krishna, please accept this offering." And Krishna is looking at it and saying, but this is not made for me. This is made for that Maharaj. So go and give it to him. Why are you giving it to me? It's the wrong consciousness. So it is not what we want, but we should think, what would Krishna like? So we have all the Bhaktivinoda Thakur's song, the Bhogarti. In the Bhogarti, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is singing a very nicely arranged poetic song. In that song he's saying how things are offered and what kind of things are offered to Lord Chaitanya in the Bhogarti, and to Krishna also. So that is the mood, that it is for the pleasure of Krishna. Not what I want, but what would Krishna like. So as soon as when you start thinking the change of consciousness, what does Krishna like? Now obviously we don't have privy to that knowledge of what Krishna likes. But we have certain scriptural injunctions and also great saintly acharyas who are very pure at heart. And because they are very pure at heart and they are fully connected with Krishna, Krishna reveals to them what he likes. So therefore, the acharyas then reveal that to us. This is what you should make for Krishna. So those things then we make very nicely for Krishna. And we offer it to Krishna. And after offering to Krishna, and when Krishna has taken full pleasure of enjoying whatever you have offered, he will then give it back to you in a transcendental prasadam form. changed in its nature. Now this is also a very important aspect. This is not just food, it is prasadam. And what is the difference between food and prasadam? You put a plate of kachoris here, which is not offered to Krishna. You make a plate of kachoris here, which is offered to Krishna. One is offered and one is not offered. Can anyone tell the difference which is offered and which is not offered? Unless, of course, the pujari tells you this plate is offered and this plate is not offered. Because there may be sometimes telltale signs. You see a tulsi leaf on it, oh, they must be offered. But even the non-offered one has a tulsi leaf. So can you tell the difference by just seeing with your eyes which is prasadam, which is not prasadam? It's impossible. Unless, of course, the pujari tells you that this is actually offered prasadam and this is bhoga. Okay? That is by sight. Then you go, fragrance. Can you tell by the fragrance whether this is prasadam or this is not prasadam? This is not possible. Then your sense of touch, you feel it and hold it in your hand and go, yes, this is prasadam and this is not prasadam. You cannot. But in good faith, if you take it that this is prasadam in your mind, in your heart, in your consciousness, that this is offered to Krishna, then that becomes prasadam, because you have already offered it in your mind that this is Krishna's blessings. So, but I don't advise you to do that. You take a plate and say, oh Krishna, I'm giving this to you, this is for you, and then you eat. That is not a bona fide way of acting, because a devotee will never do anything which is displeasing to Krishna. So that is the aspect of offering to Krishna. Now when you offer to Krishna, Prabhupada says the devotee should only take Krishna Prasadam. Now that is also a very important statement we have to understand. It may be a very simple statement. A devotee only honors Krishna Prasadam. But you have to go very deep in it. What does that mean? That means that which is offered to Krishna, and after that, when it's distributed, then you accept it. Not that offering is at 12 o'clock. What time is offering for Rajbhog here? 12 o'clock or 12:15? 12 o'clock. Okay, so 12 o'clock we all know. There's a nice Rajbhog offering coming, and 12:30 it will come out. So you're waiting outside. It's coming, it's coming. And Krishna is thinking, hello, this is for me, and the guy outside is thinking it's for him. Better I just give it to him. The wrong consciousness. We all know that story of, I think it was Ramanujacharya in South India, when his disciples asked him that what is the potency of Mahaprasadam. So of course, he said, you will not understand this. He picked a handful of rice and threw it in the river. And each morsel of rice which was eaten by the fish, as soon as the morsel went into the fish's mouth, the body was discarded. And you see these beautiful beings coming out, flying out of the river, going to Vaikuntha. And all these disciples were seeing some majestic display of the power of prasadam. And they were so much amazed by this. Then the crunch comes and says, but we are taking prasadam every day. This fish just got only one small morsel of rice and immediately gave up material body and went back to the spiritual world in the Nitya Swarupa. But we are taking prasadam every day. Why it is not happening to us? Because we are not taking prasadam. We are taking food. Because our consciousness is, I'm hungry, I'm starving, I want to eat. So we gobble away all the prasadam. And we are satisfied because the belly is satisfied, the mind is satisfied. But the soul inside is not satisfied. Because the soul is not getting that mercy. Because the consciousness is wrong. So in our training, it's very important that we learn the aspect of consciousness. In the mood we do things. So when we are making any preparation, That consciousness and mood should be that this is simply for the pleasure of Krishna. And we pray to Krishna that I am doing this as a service. Please accept this service in all humility. I am not perfect. I am imperfect. I may make mistakes. But please kindly oversee these mistakes due to my imperfection. So those who are pujaris, who do deity worship, will be trained that when you are doing the deity worship, after finishing, you come out and then you start saying the prayers, for asking for forgiveness for any offense you may have created during your service of offering puja. Well, that's for the pujaris. What about the other devotees who are not actually on the altar, but they are doing other aspects of service to Krishna? Can we? Are we so perfect that we won't make any mistakes? Of course, we will make mistakes because we are imperfect. Unless until you transcend the material platform, as Krishna is telling to Arjuna, "Oh Arjuna, transcend this material platform, rise above the three modes of material nature." Then you are on Visuddha Sattva platform. But up to that point, you may be even in a Sattva platform of goodness, but still it's a material platform. So you have to transcend, rise above that. And when you have risen above the material platform, then the three modes cannot actually impact you at all in any ways. So once you are above this, then you are on a transcendental platform. So when you are on a transcendental platform, then the material energy cannot touch you. The effects of material energy won't impact you at all in any way. So then whatever you do, it will be done on a pure consciousness. So that is why we are practicing devotees, practicing sadhana bhakti. For what purpose? To free ourselves from this lower consciousness to raise to higher consciousness. Because as long as we are in the lower consciousness, we are in this kind of a network which is impeding us of higher thinking. Athato Brahma Jagnasha. What does that mean? When you are at that platform, therefore now you think about higher things. You do things which are connected with Krishna. Of course, Krishna is very kind that he will not say that he will wait for you to transcend the three modes of material nature before he accepts you. In any state and form he will accept you, as long as you have come to him and surrendered. When you surrender to him, then you will be given shelter. And in this connection we know the story of Lord Ramachandra when they are in the coast of South India, waiting to cross the ocean to go to Lanka and rescue Sita Devi. While all these arrangements are going on, Vibhishan is there with Ravana, and he's consoling Ravana and giving him advice. Dear brother, forget all this nonsense. You have done wrong. You have kidnapped someone's wife. That is against the principle of Dharma. Our father is a great sage. What have you learned? But you have overcome by your lust. Give up all this. And the Ravana says to Vibhishan, don't give me advice. You are in no fit position to give me advice. Either you follow me or get out. Now, of course, Vibhishan, at heart, he's completely devotee of the Lord. So he says, okay, I cannot live with you. I will abandon you and I'll go. So he takes his boat and crosses the ocean and comes to the shore. Where he's coming onto the shore, Lakshman is ready there with his bow and ready to kill him. And Ramji is saying, calm down, Lakshman. What is your rush to kill him? He may be a dut bringing some message. Just let's wait and see. Because, naturally in modern warfare, you don't care for who brings you the news from the other side, whether news of surrender or whatever. You just shoot him. But in a traditional sense, you wait and you welcome. And then say, yes, what message have you brought? It may be acceptable message or not, because you don't kill the messenger. You see, that is the principle. So anyway, Vibhishan is coming, and Lakshman is ready to kill him. Ramji is saying no. Then with all humility, Vibhishan is falling at the feet of Ram, saying, I've come to surrender to you. I want to take your shelter. Although he is from the other side. But Ramji is not looking at that. He's seeing his mood, that he is surrendering. So he's accepting him. And Lakshman is saying he's an enemy. Saying he was an enemy. Now that he surrendered to me, he's not an enemy anymore. So the important aspect of this pastime of Ramji and Vibhishan is we understand that whoever comes to the Lord, doesn't matter what background he comes from or what kind of mindset he comes, as long as he understands that my ultimate position is to surrender to the lotus feet of the Lord, then I will surrender to the Lord. And when you surrender to the Lord will accept you. And once the Lord has accepted you, then now you're on your way to be freed from the material clutches of Maya and go back home, back to Godhead. So here our consciousness should be very clear in every aspect of our service to the Lord. And these pastimes are not just for just discussing pastimes and talking about how Lord Chaitanya came, how Lord Nityananda came, and Advaita Acharya embraced them and feed them very nicely, and they were very happy and joyously dancing Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. No, this is to teach us the proper way of doing things by their own example. Of course, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we all know that he came in the transcendental mood of a devotee, specifically the topmost devotee, Srimati Radharani. And what is he teaching us? How to perfect our devotion to that Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Now who can teach us how to become a perfect devotee than the Lord himself? Because Lord knows how he wants to be pleased. Suppose someone wants to please me, and only I know what will make me, what will please me. Nobody knows. He may think that, this may please him, this may please him, that may please him. Speculation. But if you ask me, what is that which will please you? Then I say, okay, do this way or do that or do this or bring me this. That will please me. And if you bring that, then obviously I'll be pleased because I have told you exactly what will make me happy. So this is just a mundane relationship, person to person. But when you talk about Krishna, Krishna knows what makes him happy. And the only thing that makes Krishna happy is that we give up our independence and surrender to him. That's why Krishna says, Ma mekam saram raja. You come to me. But before that, you come to me, you have to do very important aspect of his terms and conditions. Sarva dharmam parjata ma mekam. Give up everything. Then you come to me. And when you come to me, I will embrace you. And then I'll free you. Aham tam sarva papi. I'll free you from everything. So this is a very important aspect of understanding that our consciousness should become very free from these motivations. Srila Prabhupada very nicely explained to us the meaning of devotion. So I'm sure you all read Nectar Devotion. In the Nectar Devotion, Prabhupada gives the exact definition of what is devotion. Devotion is unmotivated, unalloyed, uncontaminated, pure. Is that? So we know exactly what devotional service is. Now when we are practicing devotional service, where are we on this scale? Because you see, I cannot tell you are on this scale, you are on this level, that level. I don't know your heart, I don't know your mind. But I know my mind, I know my heart. So I can evaluate myself which level I am at. And if I'm doing something, is it with some motivation? So I will ask a simple question. You're all chanting Hare Krishna? Yes? I hope you're all chanting Hare Krishna. Because otherwise there's no point us being here. Okay. Why you are chanting Hare Krishna? Anyone? To revive your original consciousness, to please Krishna. It's a motivation. It's a motivation to revive your original consciousness. Because you think if I chant Hare Krishna, I'll become free from all these things. And of course, the phrase Srila Prabhupada says that when you become a devotee, surrender in this process of Krishna consciousness, in the process of bhakti, at the end of the day, when that inevitable end comes, you go back home, back to Godhead. So that is motivation. I want to go back home, back to Godhead. It's motivation. But what is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doing? He is saying, simply chant the holy name for the pleasure of Krishna. Now, if we are fortunate enough to read some of the translated literatures given to us by the 6 Goswamis, and they are describing the mood of the Gopis of Vrindavan, specifically Srimati Radharani, the topmost Gopi. What is their mood? What are they thinking? Just to please Krishna. They will drop everything, violate all social norms, just to please Krishna. Otherwise, why in the dead of night, on a Purnima day, would they all go into the groves of Vrindavan and dance with Krishna when they have husband and family? And young girls who don't have husbands, but they are also going. Now in this modern age, we are a little bit more socially structured. If you see young girls wandering around in the middle of the night with young boys, would we consider that antisocial or it is social? Immediately we'll brand them with all kinds of names. But here are Gopis, they are doing that, but we are worshipping them. Why? Because their hearts are completely pure and their motive is only one. I want to make Krishna happy. So the only motive which we can actually have in one sense is, I want to please Krishna. That's all. I want to please Krishna. Without pleasing Krishna, my life is meaningless. Everything else we do, we may have some different motivations. So we have to rise above this and come to the platform of simply, I want to please Krishna. I am here only for the pleasure of Krishna. And when we come to that, then that is actually acknowledging. Now to realize that platform and actually act on that platform, which is the next stage, which will come if you persevere. And all this is possible not by our own intelligence or by our own energy, but by the mercy of the Lord. Because Krishna says, Dadami buddhi yogamtam, that if you worship me with love and devotion, what do? I give you Dadami buddhi yogam. That I give you the intelligence by which you can come to me and know me and serve me. So that's a very important aspect. So time is coming close to 9. So one last point I will make, since this is very important discussion here about prasadam. Prabhupada says a devotee can only take Krishna prasadam and nothing else. Now the point is, we don't offer anything and everything at any time to Krishna, because there are specific times we offer to Krishna. It's not that, I'm feeling a little peckish, I'm feeling a little hungry, let me see what there is, rustle up something, and then put it in front of Krishna's plate, put the plate in front of Krishna, and then say, Namo Mahavedanya, Krishna Prasadam, Krishna Krishna. But your mind is thinking, I'm going to enjoy, I'm going to enjoy, I'm going to enjoy. Going through the rituals. But that is because you want to satisfy your senses. So that's why there is a saying that you honor prasadam at the right time and offer bhoga at the right time, not at our willy-nilly place. Because when we do it at a willy-nilly without any proper understanding, then it means we are doing it for our own pleasure. No, suppose Krishna is not hungry, and Krishna, you must take this. I'm offering to you. What's Krishna going to say? No, well, leave it down, I'll take it later on. And after 6 hours later, you say, Krishna, you haven't taken it. What happens? We have to have the right mood and right consciousness. So there is a saying, don't eat anywhere and everywhere, anytime and any place, but at the right time, at the right place, with respect. And Prabhupada is very, very carefully using the word, he's saying, we honor or we respect prasadam. We don't eat. Eating is a mundane activity. We honor. So honoring means that we see the prasadam in front of us as non different from Krishna. But it is in a form which is edible. You can't just go onto the altar and start biting Krishna's hand and saying, I'm enjoying prasadam. Krishna, you are not different from prasadam. You are not different from your form. Of course, there are certain, we have to use our intelligence. The point is that before we take prasadam, we say prayers. It's a very nice prayer Bhaktivinoda Thakur has given us. What is that prayer? It's not just a prayer that, prasadam time, everybody sit down and go, Sarira Videja, Jotendra Teka, Jiva, rush to the whole prayer. Okay, start gobbling away. No, that whole concept is, by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he has given us a very nice prayer. Of course, we don't understand the words, Sarira Videja, Jotendra. So if you don't understand the language, it's okay. Prabhupada is very kindly given us the English version of it. Or those who don't understand English, then it is the Hindi version. Or many other multiple languages, it is translated. You study this. It is a meditative process that before you honor prasadam, you say this prayer to prepare your mind and your consciousness that you are about to honor prasadam. And when the consciousness is prepared, and then when you relish that prasadam, you will get the full impact of that prasadam. And when you get the full impact of the prasadam, you'll be free from all this lower consciousness or mundane consciousness. And your consciousness will rise higher and higher. And you will slowly develop so much love for Krishna that nothing else matters in the world except Krishna. So I don't know, we have time, it's 9 o'clock. One more story, it is a very nice story. Permissible? Okay. So we were doing this one program in one university in London. And of course, the students who had arranged this was Vedic Cultural Society. So those who are members of the Vedic Cultural Society, they had arranged this program for us. And invited all the students, posters were everywhere. But they did not write Hare Krishna. So it's a cultural evening. So everybody's coming thinking that, there must be some, because it's Vedic Cultural Society, so it must be something to do with Vedic, some Vedas, some Eastern culture. Let's go and see it, So auditorium was full of people, and we came from the back stage onto the hall where the auditorium was. We set up all our equipment with the drum kit, guitar, and mridanga, and kartals, all fusion of all musical instruments. And all our devotees were ready. And then the president of the cultural society said, now we are going to begin our cultural presentation for this evening. And he said, one thing is that this is a very unique cultural presentation. So please show your appreciation by clapping loudly and the curtains will open. So everybody is very joyously, happily in anticipation to see something unique. Started clapping and, in anticipation, and the curtains opened. And what they see on the stage is saffron-clad, bald-headed Hare Krishnas. And of course, most of them have seen the Hare Krishnas on Oxford Street on Saturday evening doing Harinam. So what is culture is this? What culture are they going to teach us? So of course, but we as preachers of the holy name, it is okay. This is a captive audience. So we started singing the Mahamantra with all this modern fusion of musical instruments. And about 10% of the students, Hare Krishnas, and they left. But the advertise was cultural music, a drama, and then vegetarian feast. Of course, we didn't say prasadam, but we all know it was prasadam offered to Radha Gokulananda. So the audience is a bit rowdy now. So we think, okay, at least we are preparing them for first half an hour of the holy name. So holy name is chanted, and whether they are appreciating or not, it doesn't matter, but holy name goes to the ears and to the heart, where the soul is sitting. So the holy name is being chanted. After that, there is a drama presentation. And of course, this drama presentation was from the Science of Self-Realization, the chapter where Prabhupada is describing liquid beauty. It is not very appreciative, if you are not a devotee. So, of course, a lot of people were disgusted by this whole, because they appreciated beauty and young students, boyfriend, girlfriend, they are in the mood of love and all this kind of stuff. So after that, they are booing, but we continue. Then our one of the preachers got up on the stage and he gave a little moral story behind the liquid beauty story. And then he said, after this, we have our bookstall in the back. If you are interested in buying any literatures, please approach our stand there. And as soon as I finish, we will welcome you all to take a nice vegetarian feast. So it was all finished and everybody went in the line. And it was very nice prasadam. It was pineapple, potato, tomato sabji, which was to the taste of the Western birds, puris, halwa, and some nectar juice, and they were relishing like anything. And after eating all this, they started changing their consciousness. So just like the fish, you see. But of course, we didn't have the impact of the fish that they got their spiritual bodies, but at least their consciousness was a little bit opened. And they came forward and asked questions. And we sold a lot of books. We were thinking nobody's going to buy any books. But after prasadam, they started buying the books and asking very interesting questions and interacting with the devotees. And they changed their view of the Hare Krishnas. Instead of bald-headed, saffron-clad clothes, running up and down Oxford singing, Hare Krishna, like madmen, you know. They say, you people have got some very smart thinking here. We have a different understanding of your philosophy. Says, yes, this is the real essence. So the point is, prasadam can change anyone if he's taken the right consciousness. So of course these people, they were not in the wrong consciousness, because we are already prepared their consciousness by giving them a little bit of the holy name and then a little drama and a little moral story. So it all prepared their consciousness to accept prasadam, and the prasadam changed their minds and their hearts. So this is very important aspects. That's why Prabhupada, in his transcendental vision of establishing this international society of Krishna consciousness, what was his basic formula? Holy name, prasadam. And once you have the holy name and the prasadam, then we have book distribution. Because then we are ready to now dive into the books. So Prabhupada's program is very clear. We go and do harinams everywhere. We do food for life, prasadam distribution, and then book distribution. And these three things, if we do perfectly within our lives, and perfect this, then our lives will become perfect and will make others perfect, as Mahaprabhu says, Sartha kari karo, para upkar. That is our business. So when we do that, then who is going to be very pleased? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. And they are happy, then everything is perfect. So on that note, I'll thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. You want to make any comment or question?
Hare Krishna. I will speak Hindi. I will speak in Hindi.
But it's difficult for me to speak Hindi.
Somebody can translate into English for you.
No, I can understand Hindi, no problem.
Thank you. तो ये जो कथा है चैतन्य चरितामृत की, तो इसमें भगवान चैतन्य अपने आचरण से जीवों को सिखा रहे हैं, अपने आचार्य प्रभु जीवेरे सिखाए। तो प्यार संख्या 39 में और 38 में अद्वैताचार्य जब कहते हैं कि मेरे घर में आप भोजन करिए, तो कहते हैं आज मोर घरे भिक्षा चल मोर बास। तो मेरे घर में आपकी भिक्षा है, और भिक्षा का मतलब है रूखा सूखा भोजन, मतलब अच्छा भोजन नहीं मेरे घर में। तो भगवान चूँकि बड़े कठोर सन्यासी हैं, तो इसलिए वे जो है वो रुचि नहीं दिखाते हैं कि बहुत अच्छा भोजन है तो मैं खाऊं और मैं चलूं आपके घर में। हम लोग यही सोचते हैं ना भाई, किसी घर में जाएं कितना अच्छा प्रसाद मिलेगा, कितना बढ़िया अच्छे व्यंजन मिलेंगे। तो भगवान चैतन्य बड़े कठोर सन्यासी हैं, तो इस बात से जो है वो किसी घर में नहीं जाते हैं कि बड़ा अच्छा भोजन मिलेगा। तो भगवान तो अद्वैताचार्य जानते हैं इनकी मनोभावना, तो वो कहते हैं आज मोरे घरे भिक्षा चलो मोर वास। आप मेरे घर में आइए, आपकी भिक्षा है मेरे घर में। एक मुट्ठी अन्न मोहि करें आशो पाक। एक मुट्ठी मैंने जो है भात तैयार किया है, एक मुट्ठी चावल, ज़्यादा नहीं है। अब कितना बनाया है वो नहीं बता रहे हैं, कहते हैं एक मुट्ठी चावल मैंने बनाया है और सूखा रूखा व्यंजन, और रूखा सूखा कुछ और भी व्यंजन है, कुछ सूप है और सब्जी है, मतलब बहुत वैरायटी नहीं है, जबकि बहुत वैरायटी बनाएंगे। लेकिन भगवान को इस प्रकार से, जो सन्यासी हैं भगवान तो बड़े जो है मतलब विरक्त हैं, तो इस प्रकार से बता करके आए। अब भगवान जो है चैतन्य चूँकि सन्यासी हैं, तो यहाँ पर कहा है कि प्रसाद देखिए प्रभु आनंद अंतरे। प्रसाद देख करके अंदर से भगवान को बहुत आनंद हुआ। लेकिन आनंद हुआ तो वो आनंद हम लोगों जैसा नहीं है। हम लोग देखते हैं प्रसाद मैं खाऊंगा तो इस प्रकार से आनंद नहीं हुआ। उनको आनंद हुआ किस बात से कि प्रसाद देखिया कि भगवान को जो है कितना अच्छा स्वादिष्ट जो है भोग बना है ना। तो निज इंद्रिय प्रीति वांछा धरे काम नाम, कृष्ण इंद्रिय प्रीति वांछा बाले तार प्रेम में, ऐसा कुछ है ना। तो कृष्ण की इंद्रिय तृप्ति हुई है, तो ये देख करके भगवान जो है बड़े प्रसन्न हुए कि कितना अच्छा जो है, कितनी वैरायटी का। और जबकि केले के पत्तों में जो 2 जगह जो रखा था, तो वो जो है कृष्ण को अर्पित नहीं हुआ था, वो चैतन्य और नित्यानंद ग्रहण करेंगे। अद्वैताचार्य की ही भावना है कि कृष्ण को जो भोग लगाया है वो धातु की थाली में भोग लगाया है, और केले के पत्तों में चैतन्य और नित्यानंद ग्रहण करेंगे, और वे जो है साक्षात भगवान हैं। तो इसलिए उनको जो है प्रसाद देने की जरूरत नहीं, उनको तो भोग ही देना है। तो भगवान लेकिन वो जो है ये नहीं समझ पा रहे हैं, तो भगवान समझे सबको जो है ये कृष्ण को ही अर्पित हुआ है। तो ये देख करके वो बहुत प्रसन्न हुए, और आगे चल करके फिर वो यही कहते हैं, इसमें से मुझे थोड़ी तरकारी और चावल दे दें। मतलब जैसे भिक्षु होता है, भिक्षुक है ना, तो भिक्षा के लिए जो है कुछ मांग रहा है, कुछ थोड़ा सा जो है वो अल्प कण है, वो प्रसाद के कण। तो भगवान चैतन्य जो है अपने आचरण से इस प्रकार से हम लोगों को शिक्षा दे रहे हैं कि मतलब हमारी इच्छा नहीं होनी चाहिए कि मतलब मैं ये खाऊं, मैं वो खाऊं, है ना, ये कितना स्वादिष्ट है। तो ये जो है मतलब भावना है कि वे जो है अपने को भोक्ता नहीं समझ रहे हैं, तो कृष्ण ही भोक्ता है ना। ये शिक्षा दे रहे हैं हम लोगों को कि कृष्ण ही भोक्ता है। तो कृष्ण को सबसे अच्छा भोजन मतलब हो, भगवान को अच्छा भोग, अच्छे से अच्छा भोग लगे, और हमें जो है थोड़ा सा रूखा सूखा मिल जाए। लेकिन फिर कृष्ण देते हैं, तो महाराज ने ऐसे ही बताया, ये था माम प्रपद्यन्ते तांत थे भजाम में। तो भक्त लोग बहुत अच्छा खाते हैं, बहुत बढ़िया खाते हैं, लेकिन सोचते यही है कि हमें कृष्ण को देना है। चतुर्विधा श्री भगवत प्रसादो स्वादुन्य तृप्तान, तो बहुत स्वादिष्ट 4 प्रकार का जो है भगवत प्रसाद है ना। तो ये जो होना चाहिए भगवान के लिए स्वादुन्य तृप्तान हरिभक्त संघान। और जो हरि भक्त हैं तो जब तृप्त हो जाते हैं उससे कृत्य तृप्तिम भजता सदैव वंदे गुरु श्री चरणारविंदम। तो गुरु महाराज जो है इससे प्रसन्न होते हैं कि भक्त लोग जो है तृप्त हो गए। तो भगवान चैतन्य भी जो है भक्तों को तृप्त करना चाहते हैं। जब भक्तों के साथ में रहते हैं तो सब भक्त के हृदय की अंदर की रुचि जानते हैं। तो भक्त नहीं मांगते कि मुझे ये चाहिए, मुझे अच्छा लगता है। भगवान कहते हैं इनको ये दो, इनको ये दो, इन भक्तों इस भक्त को तो जानते हैं हृदय के अंदर इसको ये अच्छा लगता है, तो स्वयं आदेश देते हैं परोसने वाले को, इनको जो है ये दो, इनको ये दो, और मेरे लिए थोड़ा मीठा पाना, थोड़ा जो है साधारण कुछ जो है मुझे दो। तो भगवान जो है इस प्रकार से शिक्षा देते हैं कि हमारे जो है खाने में वो लोलुपता नहीं होना चाहिए कि हम एकदम मतलब भोजन के लोलुप हैं। तो हम जो है मतलब उच्छिष्ट जो भगवान का उच्छिष्ट है वो खाएं, और भक्तों के बाद जो है हम ग्रहण करें, भक्तों को प्रसाद सर्व करें, प्रसाद प्रदान करें। इस प्रकार की चेतना हमारी होनी चाहिए। तो भगवान अपने आचरण से शिक्षा दे रहे हैं। हरे कृष्णा।
So remember, Lord Chaitanya is a transcendental personality and he is acting as a sannyasi. So of course he was very much following the sannyas vows of eating very little. But if you read the Chaitanya Charitamrita, lots of pastimes where Lord Chaitanya is feeding all the devotees until their bodies are wobbling up to here, because in the beginning we need a lot of purification. So when you take a lot of prasadam, you get purified. But of course use your intelligence, don't take so much prasadam that you get sick, but what you can handle, you enjoy prasadam, relish it, and as I said, slowly we will raise our consciousness and then we become perfect. Hare Bol, Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Mahaprasadam ki jai.